Yes, here we go. Episode 6 of 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. I'm Brian Cady. That's Albany Academy Girls Varsity Basketball Coach Brian Capitula. Also, one of the Grand Poobahs of Elevate and Why. What's up?
Going on? Feels like it's a long week already. It's only, I thought yesterday was Monday, to be honest with you. So that's always a good start to a Tuesday. And today's Wednesday.
My sleep schedule's been off since Saturday, so I can't even tell you what day it is right now. It's all good. I'm sleeping 4 hours here, 5 hours there. I don't know. I don't know which way is up at this point. But yeah. So last show we got in depth a bit about AAU, a little bit of the inner workings behind it, kind of what separates the good programs from the not so good ones. And we have a couple of things we'll dive into later in the show. But first, I want to bring in our guest to kick things off, which has been typical for us on our shows thus far. We bring in a couple of visitors from various Section 2 teams. We've had Dwaynesburg, we've had Averill Park, we've had Catholic Central, we've had your school, Albany Academy. Forgetting one other one. What was the other one we did? Shenandoah. Thank you. Right. Because we had Gianna and Gabby. Now we go to Bethlehem. Yes. For a pair of seniors that are on their way to continuing their academic and athletic endeavors in different spots. One of them is going to be going to WPI out in Worcester, Mass. And the other is going to be going to Dartmouth because, she's a nerd like that. Paige Davenport and Ellie Cerf. Ladies, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. First things first, since my first question was stolen from me before the show, I'm not going to delve into the recent news at what happened at Bethlehem, but I can always pivot because I remember something about last season. So it'd be your junior season when Ellie could, actually play. But this has nothing to do with Ellie. It's actually to do about Paige because I never got the story behind this. What in the hell happened to you that you needed to wear that goofy-looking Batman kind of mask pretty much the entirety of last season?
I got a pretty hard hand to the nose during one of our practices. So we were scrimmaging each other, and me and one of my teammates were fighting over a rebound, I think, and just I was in the wrong place at the right time and got a mean hand to the nose. And then I got surgery after that, so had to protect it.
A little bit of friendly fire. Do you have any stories like that, Cap, from when you played or any of your players when you've been coaching doing something like that?
Oh, yeah. My nose is still a little crooked from 11-man drill. So it still doesn't breathe right all the time. I wasn't like Paige. I roughed it. I was like, oh, surgery, forget it. Just play through it. So she's smart. That's why she's going to the school she's going to, and that's why Ellie's going where she's going, because they're both way smarter than me. So
it's a fair assessment. I actually remember when I used to announce at Sage, there was a I don't know if you'll remember the name. Jen Schaff. She played at OESJ, I believe it was, and it was her freshman year at Sage, and getting down towards the end of a home game, and one of her teammates was saving a ball from going out of bounds, except she shot it right into Jen's unprotected face, and a tooth came flying out.
Oh, man.
Let's just say it wasn't a pretty smile for about a week. So it's weird. But at least you can't get too angry though if it's a teammate, right? Right, Paige.
Yep. Wasn't me, I promise.
I would hope not, because that'll be a little awkward. All right, so as far as the team is concerned, Ellie, obviously, you had a very different perspective than Paige would have because, unfortunately, because of your injury during the off season last spring, summer ish, you were just chilling on the bench, helping out the team for the year. But what did you two make of the season for the Eagles? Obviously, getting all the way to sectional finals, which is an accomplishment in itself. But Ellie, we'll start with you. What did you make of what the team was able to accomplish by getting that far this year?
Yeah, I mean, just sitting on the bench, I got kind of like a different perspective, kind of almost like a coach's, perspective, and just like looking at the little things. Obviously, I wanted to be out there. I would have done anything to be out there and playing, but I was happy to be able to watch everybody play at a high level. I think just like from my perspective too, like the team's very different from how it was last year. And like I think I saw like a lot of like growth in like players. Like even if you look at people like Paige, like from like a year ago, like to like this year, like from her junior to senior year, like there was like a lot of growth, like just like the amount of like threes she made, and just like being a big scoring threat. And everybody else too, like, Caroline had a great year. Caitlin Robbins, like they really stepped up. So, I was just really happy to see them play. So, yeah.
Thank you, Ellie. From the players' perspective, a lot of us have been playing together since we were in like third grade, and so like this year was kind of our last year to really do something. And I think we obviously fell short, but we accomplished a lot, and that's what we wanted. And as Ellie said, like we had a lot of people step up this year. Obviously, we lost Ellie, and she was a big part of our team last year and years prior. So to have people step up like that and to have everybody like want to be there and want to be winning and playing and all that, it was a great season.
Now you guys started out your year, I was just looking at your season before, but you guys started out the year like 5-6 to start the year. And then you went on a pretty good winning streak. Beat CNS, beat Niskayuna, beat Shenandoah. Did you guys beat Shenandoah? You beat Shen?
Yeah.
So you had a really good winning streak. And then your only two losses, so I think you guys won 10 of 12 to close out the year, with the only two losses being Averill Park twice. So who obviously is always really good in Suburban Council. What flipped, I guess, like after the first like beginning of the season, because your winning streak was after the holiday and after the new year. What do you think changed a little bit the second part of the season?
I think, in the beginning, all of our losses were like tough games we were in, and it hurts to have like lose those games that you are in the whole time. So I think like during break and like that winter area, like we just kind of realized like if we're gonna get to where we want to be, like now's the time that we need to start to flip the switch and really focus on how we're playing and the winning aspect of it.
Yeah. Also, I think at the beginning of the year, like I think we were still trying to figure things out, and you could kind of tell that, especially like when teams would press. I feel like especially in the beginning of the year, that's something that was a little bit of a struggle, just like figuring out like the press break and all those types of things. And then I think at a certain point, like the year before, like we had a lot of success going into the holiday tournament, and I think like especially like we've like the seniors have played together since like forever, like fourth grade, and I think with it being your last year, it's like, all right, like we got to figure this out, like we gotta like do something. So I think that was like a big part of it. And also if you just look at the strength of schedule too, like the beginning of the season, like those are the really tough teams, and then that's how you want it. You want to start with a lot of challenges, and then so like as the end of the season goes on, it gets easier, and you're playing your best basketball. And then Little Park's just a great program. Like they're like one of one, kind of like in our league. So I think like props to them. But they were just a very tough team for us.
And to add on, I'm sure Ellie doesn't want to hype herself up, but she really did help us, as a point guard, she says, with the press and all that kind of stuff. And in the beginning of the year, we had to take that time to figure out like what we were going to do. We didn't really have a true point guard, so it took a little bit of adjusting to figure out what we were going to do with that.
Yeah, and I referenced earlier the injury that you had, Ellie, that caused you to miss the year. So let's just kind of backtrack to 10 months ago, I think it happened roughly. What was the injury? How did it happen? And how did you end up breaking the news to your teammates that you obviously you're because originally there was a situation there where you weren't sure what you were doing after last basketball season because I know you had talked about changing schools for your senior year and stuff like that. But talk about how that injury had that kind of impact and what the injury was and specifically.
Yeah, so it was my last like ever AAU tournament. We were in Washington D.C. It happened July 22nd, I want to say it was. And unfortunately, I tore my ACL in my left knee. It was kind of like it was not really like a contact thing. Just planted my foot wrong. It is what it is. Like it's basketball. Move on. Recover. And so, I was actually planning on going to Worcester Academy my senior year. But obviously there's really no use in, it was a great opportunity, but there's really no use in taking and going prep. Like if I wasn't even going to play basketball, because that was like the main reason that I would have done that. So, I talked with all my teammates and, I think there's just a lot of like love between, all my teammates and me. And it was kind of like, I'm coming back, I'll be your biggest supporter and, I'm here if you need anything. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So I was lucky enough, and I caught a lot of the games, but I caught your guys' like semifinal game against Columbia, which was back and forth all game. It was like I think you guys were up by a point, down by a point. They like made it a point with like 20 seconds to go, and then ultimately you guys won by 3. How exciting was that game for you guys, like as a team? Because you had people step up. I know you shot the ball really well that game, Paige. I know Kelsey Von Weedle shot the ball really well. Then you had someone that doesn't really score very much. That I know just from seeing her, she shot the ball. Like I can't remember her name right now, but you guys might remember. I think maybe she might be a track player or something like that. But she shot the ball really well. So I guess how was that moment like when you guys were in that game? How much fun was that to be in a game like that?
I mean, it's super fun and like just being there in general, like it's such an exciting environment and different than any games you play during the regular season. So being there is just such a great experience. But a game like that, it makes it fun, and to have like everybody clicking and that kind of stuff, like it makes it that much more enjoyable. Like like we're playing well, like we got this, and it just boosts your confidence like that much more.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in the game, but like it's just a different vibe when you're at Hudson Valley. Like it just, it's just different. You can't really explain it, but on the bench, guys, it was like an emotional roller coaster because I thought we were done. I'm not even gonna lie. At one point, I thought Columbia won, but I think Paige hit like very timely threes. And, we ended up winning the game. And, Columbia's a great team, like Liv and Kendall, like great players. So, they had a great year. So it was just an amazing game. And then to go to the championship after that was good.
Man, that I count that as 2 compliments now for Paige and 1 for 2 opponents. Ellie, what do you? No, I'm kidding. You're fine. As far as the what was I gonna go to? Oh, AAU is concerned, real quick. I know Paige, you spent the last few years with Elevate. I don't know how you dealt with the guy that's above you on the screen, but that's okay. And Ellie, you wound up playing towards the end with the Philadelphia Bells. Just whoever wants to chime in first, take it away. Just discuss your AAU experiences and how those helped you with your growth and your development as players, as well as opening the eyes of recruiters and coaches to get you to where you both have decided to go to school coming up next.
Yeah, I can start off. I played with the Albany Capitals, like literally like through 8th grade to 11th or 10th. My last year I played with the Philadelphia Bells. But, just playing AAU, is just a great experience. Like you get to play in front of like millions of college coaches, or it's an exaggeration, but you have your sidelines filled with college coaches. And I think it's just a great opportunity to like get your name out there and, play at the next level. And also just like, have a little bit of fun too. You get to travel the world, see great places. So I think it's just overall a great experience.
Yeah, I've also bounced around from teams, and last year was a great program to end with. But being able to play AAU, you get a lot of you play with a lot of different people, which like different types of players help you develop your game differently, and as well as having the opportunity to play for different coaches, you get different perspectives on what you need to work on and different coaching, and so that I think really helped me. And then AAU's, it's a different pace of game than school, and it's just a different feel. So I think, at least for me, like it helped me with my confidence and being more confident in scoring and that kind of thing.
Is there anything that the two of you, so I know kind of Paige, but people don't know like what Paige does. Anything you guys do outside of basketball that people don't know, either athletically or any kind of like you guys drama club kids, or are you guys in chorus? Do you play an instrument?
I do play. I play the violin in the school orchestra. I've done that since 4th grade, and I'm also on our school tennis team. So I've done that all through high school.
I love basketball. I just work out, lift weights, I guess you could say. Go to the gym. That's like my favorite thing to do outside of basketball or AAU or school ball. So, yeah. I did cross country all through middle school, and it was fun, but then it just turned to all basketball.
Now, Brian, Paige has been to the state tournament for tennis like 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
So,
she's a state semifinalist. I saw that.
Yes. Yeah.
So she was trying to be the best combination of Brianna Stewart, Madison Keys, and Yo-Yo Ma as she possibly could be.
exactly.
Basically, yeah.
And then as far as Ellie, I can follow up on what she was just saying about working out and stuff. She also has a great hobby, and that's bugging one of Cap's assistant coaches constantly, like annoyingly bugging her. I'm kidding, but I'll bring up this picture real quick. See, she doesn't need heels to tower over somebody. Just put her on somebody's shoulders. Jackie Oskamp, talk about how that relationship came to be and what she's meant to you, especially the last, number of months as you've been dealing with your rehab and your recovery from the torn ACL.
Yeah, I mean, I met Coach Jackie when I want to say like 3rd grade. Like my brother and my dad always used to go play tennis together at Elm Ave Town Park, and I would just always just like go to the basketball courts and just dribble around. Like I didn't even really play. Like I didn't really even know how to play, and I would just be dribbling around, trying to shoot. Like I couldn't really reach the 10-foot hoop. But then Jackie I think she was in graduate school, and she had all her cones out, and she was doing all her drills, and I asked her like, hey, can I jump in? And then like a few years later, like it kind of circled back, and she started like training me one-on-one. And before she was kind of like an assistant at Washington College, and then like when she was home, she would like kind of train me. And then she came back home after COVID and realized she wanted to do this full time, and kind of rocked with her ever since. And like for like the past few months, right, like the first like 6 months of 5 months of my recovery, like I couldn't really do too much of on-court basketball workouts, but like we've always like she's always like checked up on me, which kind of meant a lot. I've been helping her with her clinics and just coaching in that way. So I think that was good.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Ellie's been around forever. But Ellie, I think Ellie was in 5th or 6th grade. Started kind of coming to Lady Stars workouts too because we had other Bethlehem kids on it. So that was always fun. She would always come compete. Like they'd be like, "Who's this little kid that's in here?" But like she wouldn't back down. Like she wouldn't be big enough, but she'd rip you down if you're going up for a layup. So like I remember those practices and stuff like that. So it's been great to see your progress over the years because you definitely love basketball. So so that's been fun to watch. Now you guys obviously, Ellie, you're going to Dartmouth, and then Paige, you're going to WPI. What do you feel like both the schools? You can go first, Paige. What ultimately led you to choose WPI in terms of academically and athletically?
So overall, my search for playing basketball, it was school first. So like I really wanted to find a school that I wanted to go to for academics. Like I put a lot of stress on, doing well at school and challenging myself and all that kind of stuff. So, I was looking at schools that had basketball opportunities and schools that, didn't have basketball opportunities. I just wanted to go to a school that I really wanted to actually go to. And then it happened that WPI had a great basketball program and they had reached out to me, and great size school, and it's a STEM heavy school, which is what I'd like to go into. So, the school aspect worked out very well. And then, it's a great basketball program, great coaches, and it was just like best of both worlds, really.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I always knew I wanted to play Division I basketball. And I think, with my recruitment process, I got hurt at the peak of recruitment. Like it kind of like was a difficult situation for me. And, I knew I would get through the injury, but, it was just like the timeline of things. And when Dartmouth offered, it was like, like they didn't care about the injury. That says a lot about them as a coaching staff and, as people. So I think that was just like a big part of it. And, with it being an Ivy League school, like you want to, set yourself up for, a good life past basketball. And I think going to Dartmouth will do exactly that. So, as long as I want to go play professionally overseas one day, hopefully. And I want to go into coaching eventually. But I think, if that doesn't work out, like I always have that to, fall back on. And so I'm excited.
I mean, an Ivy League degree, I guess, is okay.
It's fine.
Whatever. Yeah, that beats the hell out of my non-degree 1 semester of Siena. That's okay. But real quick, Paige, you mentioned you want to go into STEM. Is something specific, a specific program within it that you're looking at? Like,
Wait to hear this. Wait to hear what she's going to answer.
Right now, what I'm hoping to major in is biomedical engineering. So it's like a mix of like math, bio, and engineering. So they do a lot. There's a lot of different like branches of it, but
yeah.
Wait till the school calls you and says, "What do you like? We're really interested in Paige. What do you think she wants to major in?" Oh, biomedical engineering. Yeah, we don't have that. Sorry, wrong number. That.
Well, things to work out at WPI. I know folks at RPI that'll probably work out for you. So, just saying. I'll call John Green for you. Anyways, now I'm probably breaking NCAA rules. I do have to get away from the basketball and Bethlehem stuff first. Well, not Bethlehem stuff, but get away from basketball for a moment here, because I grew up in the portion of Albany that basically directly borders Del Mar and Glenmont. So I'm very aware of Bethlehem and the surrounding areas, which brings me to ask, what is there to do after 8 o'clock at night?
After 8 o'clock?
Yeah, because no offense, love Glenmont, love Bethlehem, love Del Mar, but everything's closed by 8 p.m. except occasionally Del Lane's bowling in Del Mar. That's really about it that I can think of.
Maybe get some ice cream at Stewart's or.
Yes.
You can't go to Stewart's every night, otherwise you wouldn't be able to play basketball and tennis and ski and whatever cross country.
Hey, the YMCA is closed at 9. Although on Fridays it's 7, so that's where I'm at.
And I'm assuming the town park closes by sunset when it's open in season, right?
Well, they have lights, so during the summer.
Yeah,
During the summer, I'm usually like kicked out at like 10 p.m. during the summer.
Oh, 10 p.m. Oh boy, they're really being rebellious out there. Oh,
they have a nice town park too.
Yeah, it's really
nice. They do.
nice.
I'll give you that. You do a very nice town park. It's huge.
Huge.
The new playground.
I haven't been there since they installed the new playground. I haven't been there in 10 years.
I don't go on there, but like
she's seen it from afar.
Yes.
Like literally, I feel like even Glenmont's more exciting than Bethlehem.
No, it is. I feel like I feel like there's like that road. Okay, that's probably so bad that I don't know what it's called. And like Glenmont is like its own like place, and then there's like Del Mar. You know what I mean? Like I like Del Mar.
9W.
9W cuts through Glenmont into Ravenna and the RCS area.
Yes.
Then if you basically take 365 Fairbush Road, whatever you want to call it, that leads you to Delaware Avenue or 378, whatever you want to call that. That's what runs through. I'm giving a Google Maps GPS translation here for everybody. That cuts through. Technically, Delaware Avenue starts as Lark Street, actually, downtown Albany, and goes all the way down, turns into Delaware Avenue. Then it goes into Albany, Del Mar. You're from Waterville, Cap. You probably couldn't care less about this. Cuts through Del Mar, Slingerlands. Eventually, you get to Bethlehem, and then you're probably out near Albany Country Club at one point if you take a right somewhere. See, I kind of know. I told you I lived there. I know the geography.
You've never been to Del Mar before. There's a good Marshalls out there, and they might get a Trader Joe's. All right, so
that's in Glenmont. That's not Del Mar.
Listen, there's my place or whatever is on there, and there's a brewery over there. So I've been there before.
True. My place does have some killer wings, and they are usually open until at least 11 o'clock.
And Bethlehem too. Bethlehem people, Bethlehem basketball players.
Yeah. Yep. The Giacone sisters.
Yep.
Did you know that?
That I did not know.
There you go. So you tell me I grew up in Waterville. I'll tell you everyone that owns every restaurant in Bethlehem. But I agree, everything is closed.
I'll leave that one alone.
So for both of you guys, what and you don't have to like I guess just think of answers off the top of your head, but what do you think are the top 5 priorities currently like in your life? What are the top 5 priorities that you have like moving forward?
Oh wow.
Or it could be 3. Like doesn't have to be 5, but
yeah, I mean, like I would say like, you know, like obviously like my family, I just think like getting back into basketball, you know, it's like really up there. You know, school, finishing out strong. Those are I think like my main priorities right now.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing, you know, finishing strong in high school and then moving forward in college, definitely focus a lot on academics. And then for basketball, I just want to keep getting stronger, keep developing as a player. I know I still have a lot of development I can do to get better as a player. And I know that being at WPI, that gives me a great opportunity to do that. So looking forward to that.
Now, before the first day of classes, Paige is going to finish her piece for a string quartet, and she's going to come out with the new Pythagorean theorem. I don't know.
Don't really
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, all right. I'm going to ask a follow-up question to that, actually. So, where did the idea of wanting to do biomedical engineering come from? Just because it's not a very common answer that I get from anybody that I ever talk to who's still in high school.
I mean, it's a combination of a lot of subjects that I like. Like I really enjoy biology, and I'm a huge math person, and I've taken a fair share of like engineering based courses in school, so it's like a perfect mix of everything that I enjoy and would want to do in the future.
She's a master of angles. No wonder she did so well at tennis. That makes sense now. Because tennis is basically a game of angles.
It is.
All right. So I'm gonna go through some pictures I have gathered, unbeknownst to either of you. I'm not sure how Cap is gonna react to some of these, but I'll start with the one that he did send me, because he referenced this earlier. Do you remember this, Ellie?
Oh, yes, I remember that. Oh my god. Oh, that's crazy. I was so small.
I think
How
Ellie's
old was
in
I?
sixth grade. I think you were, because everyone else I think is 8th or 9th.
Wow, that's crazy.
That does
Yeah,
not
those
look
were the
like
good
a
old
sixth grader.
days. Julia Harvey. Oh my god. Mia. Ah.
Huh.
Um,
She's a 6th grade team looking like a 3rd grader. Okay.
That's an 8th grade team that she was on. She was a 6th grader on an 8th grade team for this fall. So,
So I was close. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of AAU, there's a little Davenport jumper right here. Do we
Yep.
know where this is from, by the way? I just know it's a Jeff Molnar pick because he's everywhere. Damn it! But can you place what gym this is in roughly?
yeah, that was New Jersey. Like we went down in July to New Jersey.
Oh,
I like the
okay.
hoop group gym that they have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then we got speaking of young Ellie, who is this and why were you at UConn?
no, not this picture. I was like a big UConn fan growing up. That's Kia Nurse. I think like I used to go with my dad to every like all their first round games at Gamble Pavilion, in stores. I mean, what kid wasn't a UConn fan growing up? Like they won every national championship. Like, come on.
Paige would like to answer that. Were you a UConn fan growing
I
up?
was a fan growing up. Yes.
That became basically like what Duke was for men's hoops fans, didn't it? Like it became cool. Like it was like obviously it was easy for if you like success, it was easy to like them, but it was also very easy to hate them at the same time. Because the whole thing was like before Baylor built themselves back up under Coach Mulkey, and then she went to LSU, and a bunch of other teams picked things up. Like everybody was like, "Oh, they get all the McDonald's All-Americans, blah 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 blah." But things have evened out, haven't they? When's the last time they won a title? What? 8 years? It's been a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean,
Yep.
growing up, I thought I was going to UConn, so.
And then you planted the wrong way last July. Anyways, and then another Elevate pick. This is obviously from Jim Rat. Do you remember anything from this photo shoot at all?
I didn't really take many pictures, is all I can remember. I took like the minimum amount of pictures and then I was done.
So I'll be honest, I saw some interesting pictures with the trophy on the Elevate Facebook. This is where this is from. It's from the Elevate Facebook page. There were some interesting poses with the trophy. Now, but Cap, you gotta tell him it's bad luck to be holding the trophy before you win it.
I know they made them take the photos halfway through the event. So
They should have said no touching the trophy. No, that's just bad luck. Oh, look at that, another young Ellie pick.
Oh my.
This is
You
your
love
own fault.
young
This is your own fault. Okay, you're the one that puts them out there.
Oh my god, that's funny. I think I archived this on my Instagram today. That's funny. Yeah, you know, that was in like Maryland, the Rose League. When I was in like 6th grade, I think. So
Is that like
maybe 6? I don't know. No, it was
I
7th
would-
grade.
I would want to guess that's an I-90 Elite jersey.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
7th grade.
I haven't seen those uniforms in a while. That's why I was guessing. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty cool pick for Paige just because of who's defending her. That's a pretty cool pick, I think.
Yeah, me and T. I made that shot too. I remember.
This is my shock face. Speaking of T, because we mentioned April Park earlier, and both of you can jump in on this. The other, because it's a great senior class that's coming out of Section 2, the two of you. Obviously, there's Carissa Antoine from Chalmont, Taylor and Tatiana from April Park, Alex Moses and Alice O'Hanlon from Dwaynesburg. I mean, it's a really great class. Do you have any cool memories at all from any of the games you played against any of them, or memories from AAU that you when you came up against them? Anything specific popped to mind about those ladies at all?
I mean, playing against them, like the girls from April Park and Shen and stuff, you when you play a lot of basketball, you play with all those people outside of the school season and grow relationships with them and stuff. So, like on the court, of course, it's super competitive and everybody's in the zone. But there's those moments like where they help you up off the court, or like you're standing next to each other on the foul line, or in the handshake line, you give each other like a nice pat on the back. Like all these seniors are just such great people, and it's awesome to be part of such a great basketball community.
Yeah, definitely. I'd have to agree. Like, I feel like, especially in the AAU, everybody kind of goes their own way. So I don't think, there's that. And then, I think just playing against all, the amazing seniors in this class, it's just, you're just making yourself better, by playing with great competition. And I think with the EST Summer League, with Jeff, I think that's a good opportunity to, just play against, great players from this area. And, he also brings in other players from across upstate New York. But it's just I don't know, it's just a good vibe. Of course, we're going to compete. We're going to go hard. We're going to go at each other. But at the end of the day, we're all cool. And, we want to see the best in each other. So.
I have one last question because I know that Paige went to the games that were down at the Times Union Center or MVP Arena, whatever they keep changing it to, Pepsi Arena. That's what I'm going to call it. That was forever ago. But Ellie, I don't know if you went or not, but I know I saw Paige with her dad. So that was an amazing experience to see all that stuff and people. It was packed both days for those games. So the game of women's basketball, how excited are you? The way that women's basketball and the game that it keeps progressing. Do you think it'll keep growing, or do you feel like it's kind of like a fad and it'll go away in a year or two? Kind of, it was kind of a flash in the pan and it's going away, or do you think women's basketball is going to keep growing?
I can start, Ellie, if you want. So I actually went to the games in Cleveland also. I was there for the Final Four and the finals, which was such a cool experience. And I think, it's great. When you're there, both at MVP Arena and at those games that I was at, the amount of people and the different types of people, it's not just girls watching women's basketball. There's so many guys there, and just such a great diverse group that's watching. And I think it was a quick gain in popularity, but I think it's gonna continue to grow more popular and to stay popular, just because the game is forever developing, and all these girls that are in college now and the new recruits that are coming in, everybody just keeps getting better, and the game is just so great now.
Yeah, I agree. I think, the women's game have deserved more attention than it's had in the past. And I think, you have superstars like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, you have these amazing players, and the fact that they were in Albany, New York is just insane, really good for, the Albany basketball community and, and for just basketball in general. But, I don't think it's just a fad. I think it's going to, keep growing. And And, I hope players like Caitlin Clark bring the kind of fame to the WNBA too. And I think, we're just going to be able to, keep bringing in great players that'll, keep growing the game. So, yeah.
I think the funniest thing I saw that whole weekend was a bunch of like 10, 12, 13-year-old boys with like Caitlin Clark shirts on, which you would have never seen. Like, it's hard to get boys to come to high school girls basketball games. So the fact that they were wearing those games and cheering as loud as anybody else, I think that has a pretty good idea of where things are headed. So it just took somebody. Like, it took somebody to put it over the edge. And I think South Carolina last year was building that for everybody. And I think this year everyone kind of got behind Caitlin Clark for whatever reason. And it was great. So I agree. It was a really good year for women's basketball in general.
I'm just gonna jump in with a question, then I'll do a couple more pictures, and we'll get out of here. There is one topic I have not brought up yet, and that would be Coach Wise. She has made it known that she's retiring from teaching and going to be done with the school, which means this was her last season of coaching. What was there like a shared feeling as to, I know that you obviously want to succeed for yourselves, but was there also a little bit added incentive there, knowing this was going to be her last season, to also, put your best foot forward for her, and just talk a little bit about what her, and I know that a lot of the other coaches are leaving the program as well. So, just overall what the coaches from Bethlehem have meant for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, they just put so much into, all the players, and, they've done so much over the past few years. Like, I've played for Coach Wise since I was in 8th grade. And I think it was just kind of like a surprise, because I think she announced it like in the middle of the season. And, I think everybody, there was like a little bit of a sense of urgency to, want to win for her because it's her last year. And, like the senior class, like have been very close, like year and year, but, just haven't, flipped the switch when it really mattered. And I think we really wanted to do that in part for her. And, just for the legacy she's left at Bethlehem. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's been a very successful coach in her years, and for her to end on a note that, really shows her success, and we really wanted that on top of, wanting it for ourselves. And she really does put a lot of time into our program, and into the younger kids and all that kind of stuff, as well as all of our assistant coaches that are leaving also. They all care very much about us, and we're lucky enough to have had all female coaching staff. So I think, that was a cool experience for us. And they've done a lot for us.
All right, let me see what I can do here. I don't think I have anything embarrassing. Okay, the stuff of Ellie pre-high school is all done. I know I brought her up already, but I got to bring this one up.
Hey.
She's okay, right?
She's all right. She's all right, I guess.
She's
She's
just
all
all
right.
right. I have to bring this in, Paige. I'm assuming this is from it's senior night. I can read the T-shirt now. Good job, Brian. What was senior night like for you, knowing that was going to be your last regular season game on your home court? I
mean, it was very bittersweet, having been in the program for so long, and some of my best friends, I've played with for so long. So it was very bittersweet, and you can see my parents in the photo. Like, they've been by my side this entire time. My biggest supporters. If I told them, like I was like, I want to be done with basketball, they'd support me, but they also have supported me. My college search and all that kind of stuff. They've always been there for me. So it was sad, but it was a great celebration to have.
We gave an action shot for Paige, so I might as well throw one up there for you.
Hey.
Is this actually at Albany High too?
No, that's a HBCC.
That was a championship game last year.
Oh, those are the U Albany score tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they look blue to me. My sleep has been hazardous. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah. Jordan Johnson is here. Talk about Jordan Johnson a little bit because I feel like she's an interesting figure to bring up anytime I talk to kids from the suburban council. What were your opinions? She's uber competitive, I guess would be the safe thing to say. What were your opinions of her and her style of play?
Yeah, I mean, she just comes at you, right? Like, she's just somebody, she's not known for her offense, but, she guards, like, the other team's best player, and she's going to stick with that person, and her job is not to let them score. And I think she just buys into whatever, their coach needs her to do. And, she's just like, she's the dog. Like, she just, does all the dirty work for them. And, every team needs somebody who does that. So I think she's a great player. And I think, if she wants to play at the next level, I think coach would really want, somebody like that.
Who was that player for your team, would you say, this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Ooh, who does like the dirty work? I would say Anna Walston. I think, she's a lanky kind of, she's fast. Like, she doesn't really look fast, but, she's she is. And a little bit of Paige, like, and, like, they get rebounds, like, and that's, like, a big thing. Anna guards a lot of times, like, the other team's best player. And, she really wants to do that. And she was put in a position where she kind of had to take over the point guard, position. And it wasn't, it's kind of hard to do that when you're not entirely, like, trained to be a point guard. So.
Yeah, Paige is kind of angry out there a little bit. Just a little bit.
Man, Paige gets rebounds though, so.
True. Paige, I'll let you jump in on this one.
Hey.
That's the two of you and looks like Caroline Davis, right?
Yes. That's our media day that we had.
Was that from this past fall or was that from junior year?
Junior year.
Okay.
Yep.
There's that. Ellie, I'll let you chime in on this one. I couldn't go through the show without bringing this girl up. Micaiah McCann. I love her game. She's one of those that to me just puts it all out there on the floor. But you two, you're really good friends. Talk a little bit about Micaiah quick.
Yeah, I mean, I call her my son because, it's like my son, but I think, like we just create a very good relationship. I didn't really know her before last year. And she made the varsity team as a freshman and, she's just like a really funny person, like, and, just somebody who's just like fun to be around. So, yeah, like she's awesome, on the court, she's also just somebody who just like plays really, really hard. So.
I think she was also the person before the sectional finals that was trying to make Paige smile a little bit, and Paige was just not having it at all during warm-ups. She's like, nah, this is go time. We don't have time for that. Finally, I think this is a pretty good embodiment of what you two represent. The squad. What's gonna be some of those memories that you take with you as you move on to college?
I mean, as I said, like we've been playing with each other for years, and so we've gotten very close. As I said, a lot of my best friends are on this team, so I don't know if there's anything like all these little specific memories, but to just have gained such amazing relationships with my now like best friends is just like those relationships will stick with me forever, and I have basketball to thank for that.
Yeah, definitely. Just being able to play with such great basketball players, but also just like people. you just create so many memories over the years where it's like I can't really like pinpoint one, but just like an amazing experience to be able to play with all those girls. So yeah.
All right, Cap. Any parting words before we let our guests go?
No parting words from me. I luckily be a little bit part of both of their basketball journeys at some point. So I'm sure I'll keep following both of them, and it's been fun to watch in high school, and it'll be fun to watch in college and see how they flourish. And again, we've had so many good players from Section 2. I don't really think that we get enough credit for the amount of good players we do have here, just regionally, the amount of players that come out of this area and the difference that Section 2 basketball is when they go away. So you guys are definitely part of that whole thing. And you guys will represent I know like your school well, you represent your family well, and you'll represent your team well, no matter what happens. So it's been a fun pleasure for you guys to watch you guys for a while. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I have to say it's been I think the first time the three of us crossed paths at all was sophomore year for you guys when you were playing at Amsterdam during the holiday season, and it's been great to see the two of you develop over the last few years, and see that you're going to be going on and not just continue to play ball, but also go into a pair of well-established academic schools as well. So, Paige, you continue working on the orchestra piece and the saving the world with the next big theory about science, and Ellie, you just get an Ivy League degree, no big deal. They're both gonna come out smarter than me and Cap combined, so it's okay.
lots of trees up in Dartmouth. Lots of trees everywhere.
Yep. A lot of woods.
That's what you get for going to a New Hampshire school. What are you gonna say? I mean,
Hey, I like it. I love it.
All right, listen, I have a sister who went to Keene, so I'm fully aware of what New Hampshire looks like. It's
a nice scenery. So
I like quiet.
yes,
Quiet's good.
it's kind of like a Bethlehem. It's just quiet.
Unless you're going to the bathroom around 10 o'clock in the morning, and then
In the Sea Wing. The Sea Wing.
in the sea wing, and
Yes.
it's not as quiet, but
Yes. If anybody wants to know the perpetrators, just watch this show. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Paige Davenport, Ellie Cerf, the two who did not start the fire. Thank you for coming on the show. Yes, I broke out into Billy Joel. I'm so sorry. That was awful. Congratulations on everything. And go get those degrees and go change the world, because I sure as hell ain't. So go do your thing. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
thanks, guys.
All right, Paige Davenport and Ellie Cerf from Bethlehem High School. Two really good young ladies, and yeah, they'll do all right. They'll take care of us old people, 20 years from now. It's all good.
They will. It's funny, when I first met Ellie's dad. So if people that don't know, Ellie's got a French background, so Ellie's eligible for like the French national team stuff, and she actually went over there for a little while, just to kind of some training camps and stuff like that. So her father is French, and her father's Matt Cerf, and he has a thick accent still, like a French accent. So I remember the first time meeting him, she was maybe 6th grade, and just comes up and speaking French, and I'm like, "Yep," like just answer yes, because I was like, I got some of the words he said, and drop your daughter off. Yes, like that's what it was. So Ellie has that going for her. We'll see where it goes, but she has the potential to maybe she ends up on the French national team at some point. So
you waited until we dropped her out of the show to bring that up?
Yeah, you didn't know. See, I know a lot about a lot of the weird facts and things like that. But yeah, she is a dual. She's born here, but she has
dual
French
citizenship.
heritage. Yep. Paige, I just don't know. Paige's parents, I don't think you're going to meet two friendlier people in the world. So that she has that going for her. I'm not sure you're going to meet a more friendly person than Paige, either like a young lady, but her parents, that's definitely where she gets it from. They're both the nicest two people. I don't know how they met each other. They probably were at like a nice convention and they were like, hey, you're nice, I'm nice. That's how it worked out.
At a nice convention. Oh man. Okay. Sure. I'll roll with that. Oh goodness gracious. I don't know where to go with that. Yeah. Okay. Um. I'm stumped on what to do. I'm good. Oh. There is one thing I did want to bring up before we get out of here, because we were talking a lot of AAU at the last show. I do want to bring this up real quick because if and when you ever did have tryouts, whether it be in the past or I don't know if you guys had tryouts for any of the Elevate teams this year.
Yep.
But when you have done them in the past, specific skills, and characteristics, are you looking for just stuff on the court? You're looking for little things off the court, personality-wise, combination of both. What were you typically looking for in those scenarios?
Yeah, so for tryouts that you don't, with the kids that don't show up, especially the younger ages, you don't really know who they are. So you're kind of just watching their overall effort level, what their effort level, how they're reacting to teammates, how they're reacting to like not getting past the ball, because tryouts are tryouts. Everyone's trying to score. Like, is there someone that sticks out that maybe isn't trying to shoot every shot and is trying to rebound and trying to set up teammates? But I think in tryouts like that, it's just tough. Like, you're trying to stick out in a group of kids, and it's awkward too because you're playing against kids. Maybe you're the only kid from your school that's there, and you're trying to fit into a group of people. The best way to stand out is just be yourself. Don't do things that you don't normally do. Like, do with what your skill set is and don't go beyond it. But we had really good tryouts this year with our younger age groups, and our 8th and 9th grade groups had really big turnouts. I think we had like over 40 in each group, and then had to cut that down to about 10 or 12, and then end up having a second team with our other 8th grade group. So I think it's just the number one thing at tryouts like that is be yourself. Do things that you wouldn't think that gets you noticed, like passing the ball and rebounding and just overall playing hard. Because just like college coach will say, like, shot making isn't everything. So
very true. Very, very true. I know that the couple years I was helping evaluate at tryouts for Saratoga Sparks AAU, it was actually me and Jim Shields. He was basically running the operation. I was one of the people that were helping out with just taking notes and doing the evaluations and stuff. I was always about watching for energy and effort. Those are the two biggest things I focused on. Just because to me, if you're willing to dive on the floor and talk on defense in a tryout, then I know you're going to do it in a practice and a game situation.
Sure, exactly.
So to me, those are the big things I always focused on was energy and effort. If you're able to bring it there, I know you'll bring it in game scenarios. So that was always big on me.
Agreed.
Anything else, good sir? Do you want to talk about your purple hat or your blue hoodie or what is that framed in the background, by the way?
It is a blueprint of the basketball court. So it's a blueprint of like the patent office of the basketball, the dimensions and everything like that, and 3-point line, foul line. So it's not a super old one. It's a reprint of the initial one. So I don't have like the Declaration of Independence at my house. So don't come here thinking you're stealing something that's old.
Nah, I was intrigued because I could tell it was kind of aged. I just didn't know what it was. That's all.
Yeah, it's that. So
Okay, all right.
I got some more stuff to pop out. Luckily I got a present the other day from one of my assistant coaches, just replica plaques of some of our plaques that we've gotten so far. So they're
nice.
They're cool. I'll get them out at some point.
Yeah, you got all kinds of stuff. I've seen pictures of some of your stuff. You got enough stuff to fill up.
Kill my time. I got to need something to kill my time. I think the funniest thing that I have is I have if no one knows, we'll get into it at some part. But I have a collection of things that's probably close to worth of like $10,000. And it's the weirdest thing. I get it, but it started during COVID, and I thought it was a good investment, and so now I'm up to about $10,000 worth. I haven't bought anything probably in the last 6 months, but one show we'll get into it, and I'll explain what it is.
Some people like me would call it collecting. People who don't get it would call it hoarding. It's all good. No big deal.
It's all organized. Nothing's disorganized. The garbage has to go out right now, and I have ADHD. Not that I didn't put it out yet. So
That's the important part. It's organized. Thank God. Because we don't want you to end up on an episode of Hoarders on
no.
TLC. No, we don't want that. I think it's on TLC. Anyways, yeah, that's episode 6 of 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. For Mr. I Gotta Put Out the Trash, Coach Cap, for Paige Davenport, for Ellie Cerf, I'm Brian Cady. Till next time. Au revoir.
See ya.